And we are live. What's going on, team? Johnny here. It's another live day trading session. Today is January 27th, 2026, 7:28 my time. Hope you guys are all having a great start to your day. Let me get our link shared to our Discord members. And there we go. All right, UNH selling off after hours. Holy moly. Down 17% overnight. Looks like UNH missed their revenue, and not by a lot. EPS is down 69% year over year, so that's not good. Revenue up 12%. American Airlines also missed their EPS by 54% and their revenue. So that's interesting. Could be a nice little dip buy opportunity. American Airlines, huge sell-off here on American Airlines. Pushed down, pushed up, now it's coming back down. Overall QQQ touching $630 overnight, so that's hitting our previous resistance range. We'll see if it sells off now, or will it push through this resistance to some new highs. Bitcoin also selling off overnight, touching and getting rejected off of that 200-day moving average. So of course, that's not good for Bitcoin necessarily. All right. Welcome, welcome. Let's see, we got UPS also report earnings. UPS. Oh, UPS. Pushed up to 112, came down to 106. And I believe Boeing selling off. Intel is also recovering slightly. What happened to my computer? Why is it all weird like this now? That was weird. All right, QQQ, let's see what happens here. If it holds above this moving average, or does it begin to sell off? Bitcoin still continuing to get rejected off of this moving average. Very interesting market lately. Very bullish, and then sells off, and it's very choppy. Very choppy lately. MSTZ pushing. QQ, let's see what happens here. This could begin to sell off. Overbought reversal. See if QQQ holds at these elevated levels, or will we begin to see this get rejected? Wouldn't mind buying some SQQQ if the market begins to sell off. What's NVIDIA doing? NVIDIA is selling off. Apple pushing up. AMD selling off. AVGO selling off slightly. Google selling off. Tesla with the hard sell-off. Microsoft pushing up. Meta selling off. PLTR selling off. Walmart selling off. Hood holding up. Netflix selling off. PayPal selling off. Intel holding up. SoFi selling off. UNH selling off like crazy. Holy moly. Blew right past its support, which is no longer a support. Look at that gap down by UNH. Huge gap down. Man, and continuing to sell off. AG and C. So we don't have AG and C on the list yet. AG and C. I'm gonna have to add this to the list just because I have a few shares of it now. AG&C to 1190. I got one share. They have an ex-dividend date on the 30th, which is Friday, and they'll pay a dividend. Let's go ahead and do 9 more of these. That way we can get an even 10 dividends, 10 shares for a dividend payout. So it's 12 cents per share, and we'll get $1.20 now every single month. $1.20 every single month, as long as we hold these 10 shares. So when it pulls back, you can always buy more. Buying at all-time highs is probably not the best idea. Could have bought something like 1160 yesterday. That's okay. I don't mind holding a few shares. Of course, they say that at 1192, and it pushes up. It sells off to 1188. That's all right. You even buy 10 more at 1180. That'd be 20 shares. So it'd be like what? Instead of $1.20, it'd be like $2.40. But let's see. QQQ selling off. Big sell off by QQQ. So SQQ would have been a nice play, and I just was talking about that too. I'm just talking about that break above. Already up 1%. Give you a nice little dip buy opportunity. Retesting yesterday's high. Being patient here. I think I want to dip by TQQQ. This thing is super elevated. I mean, we're at 630. Previous all-time high was 637. 637.96. So extremely elevated. Would have been nice to buy at the 605s, right at 50. Buying at 50, holding to 56 would have been a $6 per share. We made money on the upside, but it just wasn't a ton. Looks like it is already beginning to retrace. We're gonna be patient. I want to get in, but this thing can continue to sell off. Let's see what happens here. Does it hold that 45 EMA or does it sell off even more? Looks like it's gonna hold. Also, let's see what we have going on today. I know we talked about it during our Sunday stock talk. We also talked about it yesterday. What's happening this week? Let's see, Tuesday we have the January consumer confidence data. And then tomorrow we have Microsoft, Meta, Tesla reporting their earnings. And Apple reports their earnings on Thursday. So it's going to be a very interesting week indeed. We, of course, had UNH, Boeing, UPS, GM, American Airlines all report their earnings this morning. GM. Let's see what GM did. GM raises dividends by 20%, sets new $6 billion stock buyback. So what is their dividend now then? Is it balance sheet? Let's see here. Dividend yield. Let's bring that up to, it says GM raises their dividend. It says an annual dividend of 60 cents. They raise it by 20 cents, 20%. $0.15 a share. 15 cents a share for GM. Pretty significant. QQQ. Still holding. I want to take a position in something. I'm just not sure what yet, as markets are extremely elevated. So we can see this sell off pretty hard. Maybe we get into some SQs. Maybe wait for the pullback and we buy long and go TQs. Bitcoin had a nice sell off, but come on, you guys are probably just as tired of me trading MSTZ as I am. Although that was a nice 60 cents per share. Bitcoin's just been super choppy. It'd be nice if they had a better, clear direction but I don't want to go long on Bitcoin if it's continuing to get rejected off of the moving average. And I don't really want to short it because these are very small opportunities to short. And the range just keeps getting smaller and smaller as far as range. Tesla reports earnings tomorrow, along with a few other named companies. We just talked about that. But like, look at the range on this. It's just getting so much smaller. It's just almost not tradable. MSTR selling off, but now to the point where it could rally, right? So maybe some MSTU if Bitcoin begins to recover. But if QQQ sells off, it could sell off pretty aggressively. And then we could see MSTR sell off with it. And I woke up with a headache today. It must be the weather. Tesla beginning to consolidate a little bit here. Now they do report their earnings tomorrow, so that'll be interesting play. Microsoft still pushing higher. Meta selling off. Pinterest cuts nearly 15% of jobs to redirect resources to AI. Raymond James cuts Meta price target, says company in awkward phase. Let's look at SLV. We had a guy going long on silver. $106, down 13% yesterday on silver. So it could have been a nice little dip buy opportunity on SLV for sure. Silver has made a very nice run. When it broke out of 50, it broke out of 50 very nicely. Huge breakout from $50 to $106, doubling anyone's investment on it. Now finding a top at 106.70. Could see this come back down even more. Finally found somewhere of a support. 92.38. That's the range it's trading in now that its run finally ended, right? Pushed all the way up, came back down to retest a specific level, and that specific level was 92. So we'll see. Looks like it's beginning to sell off even more now. SoFi would have been one I wouldn't mind, but again, it's just continuing to get rejected off of this moving average. You know, it's holding it down, which I do not like to see. AG&C is pushing up $11.97, almost $12 a share. Should have bought more, honestly. It's one of my long-term, well, not long-term, but this is one of my these holds that I'm going to do for a dividend capture, so I could showcase that to you guys, how you could be up 1 or 2% on a trade and then take a dividend. I mean, if you would have just held this since, let's say, oh, let's say you bought this in January at $8, even though it went down to 7, if you would not have bought any more, it's up 50%. So imagine being up 50% in a year, but also getting paid dividends. So it went up $4 on, let's just say you had 100 shares at $800. You now have 100 shares at $12. So you'd make $400 in a year. Plus each 100 shares, you would make 12 cents. So I think that's $12. Is that right? Oops. 100 times 12 cents a share, $12. Now times that by another 12 because you get paid every single month. So you'd be up $544 in a year with an $800 investment on AG&C. So that's pretty significant for just buying and holding something. $544 in a year. I mean, you can't beat that, guys. Now, of course, it doesn't have to rally forever. This could pull back down, which I wouldn't mind buying some more. And honestly, I should have bought a lot more sooner. But even if you got, it's at $400 in appreciation, $144 a year, you're making $12 a month. If you had 200 shares, you can make 25 a month. If you had 400 shares, you can make $50 a month. That adds up pretty significantly, doesn't it? And 400 shares at $12 now obviously would be around $4,700. But imagine if when you could have bought it at $8, it would have only been $3,000 investment. Only a $3,000 investment compared to 5. See, QQQ with basically a full recovery back to where we opened at market open here. Should have bought the dip. You ever think that you should have bought the dip when you thought so? Up 1%. Yeah. You just never know, especially with these elevated levels, right? Came back down, it retested that 45 EMA and sold off slightly. Probably scared a lot of people into selling or going short. And now it's running up higher. Markets are consolidating, but seems like we're just kind of wasting our time right now. Not really doing much. SQQQ, nice little run up. About 1% as well. So 1% isn't a lot. Literally just waiting now. Not a lot going on here. Do I buy some more? Netflix down at 84. Just tried to break out of this resistance range for a while now, right? It can't get above this moving average. It's having a lot of trouble trying to get above this moving average. Every time it tries to, it gets rejected. This is a downward or a descending direction, a descending pattern. Hood pushing up. So Hood's doing very well. Oh, you and HOO or Hood doing very well. Netflix trying to hold up. We'll buy a share. We'll buy a share of some Netflix. Start adding into this position a little bit more. HOOD, very nice move up. I like that, testing that moving average. It's above the moving average. Yeah, we're gonna buy 3 more of these at 108. So it's gonna bring my average up a little bit, right? Because we just bought some here. But 108 isn't a bad price for HOOD. Of course, I could have bought some at 106 the last couple days, but see where I bought and added. Netflix, I've already added 3 times. Let's get one more share just to make it an even 5 as well. There we go. Bringing my average down to 86.20. So nice average of 86.20 in 5 shares. And these are swing trades. So if it pushes up to the moving average, about 5%. Obviously, if it pushes up higher, the percentage goes higher. If it gets back up to previous resistance, eventually we're talking like a 56% return. On Hood, same thing here. If it pushes up to the moving average, a nice little 7% return. Pushes up to previous resistance, we're looking at a 42% return. So 5 shares of each is very small. I'll still add more to it as time goes on and as direction continues to be in my favor. But yeah, I'm just really not seeing any moves. And AG&C is also somewhat of a swing. It is a swing trade, but it's also a dividend capturing strategy that I'm going to be doing. And I want to dip buy on this. Looks like it pushed up to 12, which is great because it recently hit 12 just a day or two ago, so this can obviously go much higher. AG&C is, of course, an American real estate investment trust, and they've been doing very well lately. I think I'm going to buy 10 more shares of this as well. Yeah, buy 10 more shares of this. So we actually have 3 active swing trades right now currently. 3 active swing trades. Very excited as the markets push up even higher. We'll see if it holds at these elevated levels. At one moment, market was selling off. Now we push up even higher. So very quick change in direction. So we'll see what happens. Excited to see what happens. Really wouldn't mind getting SoFi, even though it's selling off. It always seems to be finding support around $25. Continuously finding support around 25 bucks. So it's very interesting. Intel, PayPal, Netflix, and Hood. Hood coming all the way back down. So instead of buying at 108 at the high, I should have waited and bought down at 107. So that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Getting rejected off of this moving average a little bit here. Big sell-off. Look at that. All right. Make sure you guys are considering your risk with all your trades as well. Make sure you're not trading with emotion. All it takes is one bad trade that's over leveraged for it to wipe out all of your profits. So let's make sure that we are taking our time. We're sticking with our trade plan. Make sure you're always taking risk into consideration. Sounds selling off pretty hard. Breaking below its support level for the first time in a while. Actually, I'm going to keep that support level there just to showcase that. Below its previous support on Soundhound AI, 972. Even $9 seems to be like a previous support range. So it's kind of within that range to buy. Man, I got a headache today, man. Bad headache today for some reason. Ugh. All right. QQQ still holding up, pushing up higher. Love to see it. Open door, looks like it's finding some support around 570. Truly not seeing anything I want to day trade right now. Good morning. Good morning, Andrew. How you doing? Hope you're having a good morning so far. Yeah, QQQ super overbought at these elevated levels. See if it continues to hold. Kind of scared everyone at open, started to sell off, and then a quick change in direction and actually pushed higher. Yeah, I was totally looking at TQQQ down here too at 55.60. Could have been up $1 per share. Not bad. Walmart is in the dumps right now. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Walmart. A lot of companies are selling off today. Walmart down to 116. I mean, it's going to be retesting this moving average, so that could be really nice for a dip buy opportunity. 116, 115, up to 122 again. That'd be a nice little 5% profit. What else was selling off? Meta selling off today pretty aggressively. Microsoft pushing up. Tesla was selling off, but it looks like it began to recover. Google's are holding up. ABGO holding up. AMD again sold off and recovered. Apple holding up. Amazon sold off. Due to UPS. UPS. I think UPS did very well. Well, spiked up a little bit. Sold off to 104, pushed up to 112. They did beat their earnings though, so that's good. Lululemon's selling off, down 3%. Nvidia pushing up, which is good to see after that little dip there. Palantir, obviously, sold off, recovered. Yeah, Walmart seems to be doing pretty bad, down 1%. Hood, very interesting with Hood. It pushed all the way up to 109, and now it's selling off, right? It touched this moving average and didn't like it, and it got rejected. I thought we were gonna get a nice little breakout above, and we totally didn't, and that's okay. That just gives me an opportunity to load up and buy some more the next couple of weeks. We just bought a few shares to have a nice little even number of 5. Netflix also, I evened it to 5, so we added a few shares today to our swing trade. But both of them slightly selling off. PayPal selling off. Intel holding. SoFi selling off. I wouldn't mind to start a swing trade on there. This is just going to end up being a bunch of swing trades in my account. But there's nothing wrong with mixing it up. Having a few swing trades, having a few day trades. Of course, AG&C is a company that I wouldn't mind holding a little longer. We talked about this a minute ago, how it's up, was it 40%? I think it was up I think I said it was up 40% for the year. And it pays a monthly dividend. So from January, we bought it $8, it's now to 12. Yeah, it's up 50% in 1 year. So $4. So that means you would have bought 100 shares at $8. It would have been $800. Pushed up to $12. You now have $1,200. So you made $400. And it paid 12 cents a share every month. So 100 shares times 12 cents a share, that's $12. Times 12, that's $144 in dividends, plus the $400 in appreciation. You'd be up $544 on an $800 investment. So very significant indeed. So we do have 20 shares now. The ex-dividend date for this will be on January 30th. So you need to own it before the 30th. So you have 2 more days to buy it. If you own it by the 29th and hold it until the 30th, you can even sell it on Friday. You don't have to hold it any longer than that. But you have to own it before market open on Friday. It might even be before pre-market on Friday. So we picked up 20 shares. It'll be about, what, $2.40 in a dividend. Plus we're currently up on this right now. So not too bad. Well, obviously we want it to be more. Like if we could build to a nice 100 share position, getting those $12 every single month, or even say 200 shares, now you're getting $25 every single month in dividends. CVS down. Let's take a look. CVS down 10%. Oh my gosh, what happened? Oh, it's a health group. Yeah, UNH isn't doing good either. UNH is not doing good today. Technically down 13.5% from highs to lows. Recovered slightly. UNH. Same thing with UNH. Down almost 20%, guys. 19%. This is sold off overnight. Incredible. Incredible gap down. And I remember when everyone was excited to buy at 231, because again, that was a huge sell-off when I believe the CEO died. It went down 60%. So 20% significant, not as much as 60%, but still very significant. So, wow, what in the heck even happened, right? Sound, I don't know if you guys like sound or not, but that is coming up to an area of a buy situation, right? Anytime it gets into the nines, people tend to load up. Tends to pump to $25, even to $22. We've traded it in the past. Now I'm considering buying a few shares just because it is so oversold. I don't really like sound though as an investment. Maybe a day trade, you know, here and there when we get these pumps and these different rallies. But to hold long term, I don't know. Could even come down as low as $6.50. Looks like it's recovering pretty strong though. Yeah, just 30 cents a share back to the moving average isn't a lot. Opportunity cost really isn't there. It'd have to really move for me a lot to get up to those levels. LUNR trying to bounce off of what looks like some support as well. This is a space exploration company that we've been tracking and watching for quite some time. You know, watching its 3 stages of reversal in these levels here, pushing up to 14, selling off to 8, pushing up to 14, selling off to 8, and pushing all the way up to 22. Seems like this could probably come down a lot more, or it could hold at these levels. Very interesting. But yeah, markets are a bit choppy today. They're up, or they're down, and then they up. Now it's really choppy here. So yeah, any other companies you guys are watching, I'd love to know. VIX index pushed up to a 16 just a moment ago. Now down, or 1627, now down under that moving average. But remember, when the VIX gets up to 20s, those highs of 20, markets tend to sell off. That's more likely, and the markets become more volatile. Bitcoin kind of holding up. I'm kind of getting tired of trading MSTZ anyways, just because such a small range, right? At least before when we were trading it, you can get these big sell-offs, these huge red candles. You can even get these huge rallies all on the same day. You know, even this range was a little better, right? We had a huge range like this. Now the range is just very small, just kind of trading within this level here. So we need to see either a big massive breakout for me to go long, or we need to see some more selling pressure, but still continuing to get rejected off of that 200-day moving average though. So that's kind of nice. Overall though, just not really a lot of moves to be made today. So we wait. We wait to trade another day. Let's see, we have 5, 4, 5:30, 4:20. What am I trying to do here? I guess I could just pull it up on my phone. We should have around $1,000 or so in the market currently for swings. 1,200. We have 1,200 in the market, so we still got about 1,000 to day trade with. And again, I may hold AGNC, I may not, but I'm just holding AGNC until the 30th on Friday, and then I'll decide what I want to do. If I want to sell and just take my dividend payout, or if I want to hold, continue to add to this. Same with Netflix, we're holding this a little bit more long term. It's at a previous area of support, so I'd love to see if it holds support, great. If it doesn't, you know, we're risking maybe about 10% on this trade to make anywhere from 30 to 50% long term. So like a 1 for 3 risk reward to a 1 to 5 risk reward. Also on Hood, I like Hood, how it's finding some support right along where this moving average is as well. So again, maybe risking a little less, maybe risking about 5 to 6% to potentially make 10 to 40%. So a 1 to 2 risk reward to like a 1 for like 8 risk rewards. So I'm excited to see what happens on these swing trades, and also what we could potentially trade tomorrow too, or maybe later today. I don't really want to stare at the screen too long. I got a headache this morning. I woke up in the middle of the night with a headache, and then still have one. So I think I'm gonna try to drink some more water, get a little bit of rest. Really hope I'm not getting sick again. This will literally be like the 3rd time. I've been sick twice already in January. I brought in the new year sick, and then I got sick like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So I hope I'm not getting sick again. But yeah, great day. If you guys haven't checked out one of my recent videos, I talk about how much money you need to make $100 a day. Pretty good little video here, so definitely check it out while you're just hanging out today. Very informative, and it talks a lot about, you know, how much money would you need to make $100 a day. There's a lot of different examples, and I do have some tools in the freebie section in the Discord available to you to use to kind of plug and play and mess around with. Also, don't forget, we are coming up to, you know, almost not having any more free spots on the Discord. We have like about 250 spots left for free, and then after that we will be charging a small fee to get in. So join our Learn to Earn Discord now while it's free. It's lifetime access, so I will never charge you when I do begin to charge other people. So I appreciate your guys' time. Like always, remember, let's manage our risk and be aware of the direction, and don't be afraid to lock in profits. The Discord, I was going to say a second ago, the Discord, not only when you sign up for our Learn to Earn team do you get these live day trading sessions with me, you also get one-on-ones. You can connect closer to me, you can connect with other like-minded individuals. You also get updates, trade ideas, and alerts whenever I see them. And you get our LTE lesson library, where you can actually go from knowing nothing about trading to being more knowledgeable about trading, all in a very small course. It's about 2 to 3 hours. And anytime I make updates to that, you will also get those updates for free. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So let's all have a great rest of our Tuesday. Remember, we do have a key report coming out today. Um, Pull that up real quick. And main trading, we have the January consumer confidence data report today. And then, of course, tomorrow we have the Fed interest rate decision and press conference, along with Microsoft, Meta, and Tesla reporting their earnings. It's going to be a very interesting day tomorrow for sure. So let's all be aware of those. Okay, so I appreciate your guys' time. And like always, remember, let's end the year on a green note. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, guys.